Everybody Loves Deals with Monty podcast, whereas the deals are easy and the stories are real.
Hey everybody, it's Monty with Everybody Loves Deals with Monty, and I told you in previous videos that we were going to talk about more than just cars. And while I love what I do, the car business has been great to me and my family over the last 30 years. Tonight I have some questions for you regarding sports. And Thursday night we're coming up on Summer League's first game for the Dallas Mavericks. And we're going to see Cooper Flagg versus Bronny James. Now, we are about 5 months removed, roughly. I believe it was the 1st of February when Luka was traded to the Lakers. And I'm going to tell you, for about 5 months, I have been in utter shock. I have been just the sight of Nico just makes me cringe. And I even bought me a Lakers t-shirt with Luka's number and name on the back. And I hate the Lakers with every fiber of my being, with every bone in my body. I hate the Lakers. I love Kobe Bryant. I love Magic Johnson. I love Shaquille O'Neal. I hate the Lakers. And I guess it goes back to, in the 80s, whenever the Lakers and Mavericks played in the Western Conference Finals, and somehow, some way, the Lakers were able to escape the Mavericks, and so from that point on, I just could not, I could not root for the Lakers. It was, in fact, my buddy that I grew up with, we had a song that we sang. We were actually got to go to see a Mavericks Lakers game back when Magic was playing back at the old Reunion Arena, and it was talking about goodbye to the Lakers or something. I can't remember, but we had a song we sang on the trip there, so that was pretty cool. I just thought about that. But so here's my question for you. Here we are. We're 5 months removed from the Luka Doncic trade. If you were at that time to know what was coming, if you knew on February the 1st or 2nd, whatever day it actually fell on, if you knew that by trading Luka Doncic, you were going to inherit the number one draft pick in a good year. This is a great year for the draft because really 1 through 3, you probably could. I don't think you could have gone wrong because of the need with Luka being traded. You definitely have a need for point guard, and so my question is, with how it panned out, how do you feel about Nico? How do you feel about the trade? I sit there and I think about the possible lineups for the Dallas Mavericks, and God, I love Luka Doncic. I mean, I grew to love him like a son. As funny as that sounds, I mean, I take this stuff pretty serious. I was a huge Luka fan, and I defended him in every area of every way I could, whether it was whining at the refs, lack of defense. But did you see in this series or this game or whatever, he had X amount of steals or blocks or whatever the case may be. I feel like that I'm really torn on this. I want to love Cooper Flagg. I want to be a Cooper Flagg fan. I want to be have the same feelings for Cooper that I had for Luka, that I had for Dirk. And when you have someone who's as special as Luka, after having someone who was as special as Dirk, golly, we had 25, 26 years of being spoiled. Let's just call it what it is. We were spoiled. That's unheard of in this age of NBA basketball, and we were just fortunate to have that. and I really thought we had another 10 to 12 years of at least 10 years of um, having Luka on our bench, um, and probably would have. I think a lot of this goes back to the selling of the club from Mark Cuban to the Adelsons, and I believe that had Mark been still the primary owner, if he the controlling owner of the franchise, I believe that this wouldn't have gotten to where it went to. Now, having said all that, I went back and I looked, and I don't really know how to compare the two. It's hard for me to look at these two and figure out how to make a comparison or say, okay, well, Luka was better here or Cooper's going to be better there. I don't know, simply because I don't know enough about Cooper. I'll be real, I didn't see enough games of his last year, so the only thing I could do to really give me an idea of what to expect was to take um, Luka's last year of playing in Europe, which was for Real Madrid, and then take Cooper Flagg's last year of playing non-pro ball, which was at Duke. Um, and so I did the comparisons, and for Luka, his last year, now he played mostly he played guard and small forward. That was mostly his position. Um, so he averaged 16 points, 4.6 rebounds, and 4.3 assists in his last season with Real Madrid. Okay, now you see how that translated into the NBA. I mean, someone told me today, as a matter of fact, that Luka could at the end of his career be mentioned in the same breath as Jordan. And I don't want to start that conversation, but I'm just going to throw this out there. I wasn't alive to see Bill Russell or Wilt Chamberlain. I had the utmost respect for both, based off of what I've seen. I think Wilt Chamberlain was the superior player. Um, I believe that if he would have taking care of business the way he could have, should have, Wilt Chamberlain would be one, and then MJ would be two. Now, that didn't happen. MJ has the rings to prove it. MJ shut people down. MJ had the killer instinct. Um, and in my book, MJ is by far, there is not a close second, by far, the greatest player of all time. And I've grown up. I grew up with Jordan. I've been alive, obviously been alive to see all of LeBron and his career. And for those of you that didn't have the opportunity or the pleasure or the honor of seeing Air Jordan, Michael Jordan play during his career with the Bulls, especially, you really don't have an argument, because there is no comparison between the makeup of these two guys, of Luka. I mean, I'm sorry, of Michael Jordan and LeBron. There's just no comparison. So, with that being said, I gave you Luka's stats: 16 points, 4.6 rebounds, 4.3 assists. Now he did play 33 games, I believe, in the EuroLeague. And when he was in the EuroLeague, he had 14.2 points, 5.1 rebounds, and 4.6 assists. Now, these are not numbers to scoff at. These are numbers that are fantastic. Um, and we saw what it translated to in the NBA. In fact, I believe I remember Luka making the statement that the NBA was easy compared to playing in Europe, simply because of the rules and the way things go. They're more offensive friendly in the rules, where in Europe, I mean, it's kind of like the old bad boy Pistons. They'd hack you to death before they'd let you score a basket. So interesting to see that. Now, what I did is I went and pulled Cooper Flagg's stats from his senior year at Duke, or I'm sorry, freshman year at Duke, and I was pleasantly surprised. Now, I probably saw one and a half, maybe two games at the most of Cooper Flagg for two reasons. One, I hate Duke. I just it's funny. I grew up when I was a kid. I remember in elementary school writing a poem that said, "When I grow up, when I grow up, I'm going to play basketball for MSU or Duke." Okay, well, that's obviously two different ends of the spectrum between if I have the talent to play for one or the other. I obviously didn't have the talent to play for either, which is why I ended up at the car lot. But yeah, I just but I respect the heck out of the program they built. It's very similar to Alabama, um, as you see here. I love, I absolutely love Nick Saban, and I love what he built at the University of Alabama. Um, I can listen to him speak all day long. He is such a great man, such a motivator, such a, I mean, I would run through a wall for that man. And this is coming from a Texas Longhorn fan. Um, and there's a story there. I actually had the honor and privilege to get to go visit my aunt and uncle in Tuscaloosa the weekend that Texas and Alabama played 2 years ago, and I was able to get to go to the game and made some interesting, met some interesting people, and really had a great time. And well, that's for another story. But um, I'm a huge Saban fan. Um, Now, and I'm the same with Coach K. I believe Coach K is the greatest college basketball coach of all time. I believe he was, he never left. He stayed in one place. Man, he just turned out pro after pro after pro, and they were winners after winners after winners for years and years. I hated them. I hated Christian Leitner, Bobby Hurley. I hated those guys, and but I love the program. I love what he built. I love the consistent winning. You can't not respect what Duke built. So I pulled Cooper's numbers from his freshman year at Duke, and he averaged 19.2 points as a freshman. We're talking 17 years old, right? 7.5 rebounds, 4.2 assists, and 1.4 blocks per game. That's playing in the ACC. That's going through the NCAA tournament. That is, and the ACC. I don't care what anybody says. ACC's tough, man. You play North Carolina twice. Well, I understand North Carolina is not what North Carolina was, but North Carolina is still what Texas A&M is to Texas, even though they're our little brother, and they really don't have a big standing as far as national rankings, as far as um, where they stand in the sports world. It's still a hell of a fight every time we play. Um, so I get that, but you average those numbers um, against a solid conference, um, the NCAA tournament, um, and I'm not saying that the competition with Cooper was better. I'm not saying it was stronger. I'm not saying that. I'm not here to imply that Cooper is going to be better than Luka. I'm not here to imply that he faced stiffer competition. I really couldn't tell you a whole lot about the competition that Real Madrid plays. Don't know. I really don't have a clue. All I can do is take the numbers and base them off that. With that being said, based off these numbers, there's a real good chance that in the next 6 months, a lot of crow will be eaten by Maverick fans, me especially. Um, as much as I hated to get rid of Luka, as much as I hate that he went to the Lakers, as much as I hate Nico right now, and let's be real here, Nico had absolutely zero to do if you don't believe in the news out there that is all rigged and whatever. If you're not a conspiracy theorist, um, is Nico had absolutely nothing to do with the luck of the Mavericks drafting number one. With that being said, 1, 2, or 3, I believe, was a difference maker for this team, especially with Kyrie being hurt, um, and the fact that Kyrie's getting up there in age. So if you land one of the top 3 spots, you've got a point guard that's going to come in and take a great team when healthy, and I think make them a really strong contender in the West. Now the West is deep. Let's not let's not kid ourselves. But I think with the ability to draft, get the number one pick, I mean, there's no. I am in the line in the drive-through at the pharmacy, and I'm listening to the ticket, my favorite station in the world. I'm listening to the ticket, and they are going through. They're kind of listening in the background. They're not playing it live, and they're talking about it. And then they're like, "Oh my gosh, we have a chance!" And it got down to the Mavericks and Spurs, and of course I'm sitting there going, "Yeah, I remember this. How this plays out. The Spurs are going to get the number one pick because Pop's not feeling well, and obviously ended up retiring. And much respect to Pop, he was a great coach. Um, so I really figured this was going to go to San Antonio, but golly, when the ping pong ball landed for Dallas, I mean, I'm on the phone calling everybody I know. I'm texting everybody I know. Oh my gosh, can you believe it? We're getting Cooper Flagg. We're getting Cooper Flagg. And after that wore off, I'm sitting there going, yeah, but there's Nico. And so there's a good chance that Cooper Flagg's going somewhere else, and we're going to get us another big man because we can't have enough big men, obviously. And so, but it ended up working out well. We ended up getting Cooper, and I believe that was they would have run him out of town. He would have never um, been able to survive in Dallas had that not been the case. But at that time we didn't know. I mean, who the hell trades Luka Doncic, right? I mean, who sends that guy to your rival? That's just not heard of in today's, Anyway, but that's my question for you. Mavericks when healthy. I mean, the roster looks great. You've got AD, you got Lively starting, you got AD, you got Washington, you've got D'Lo. They just signed D'Lo, and of course Cooper. Um, and then you got Gafford coming back to back up in the center position, um, and Kyrie coming back. Kyrie's going to be back. Hopefully, January, February part. That's the hope. Of course, he came out and threw a wet blanket on that a day or two ago when he said, I wouldn't hold my breath, but I think that's just him trying to lower expectations. And to be honest with you, if D'Lo is what I think he will be, we don't expect him to do a lot. Just facilitate the offense. Man, you got enough players on that team between Klay Thompson, between AD, between PJ, between Cooper, which Cooper's numbers when you're shooting, I believe it was 38% from the 3 point line. I mean, that's the big we've been missing. And AD, I'm assuming, I believe AD is a pretty solid 3 point shooter. Just never got to see it because he didn't play enough. But there's your four. I'm talking on that. There's your four when AD, because it's inevitable, right? Street clothes. When AD goes down, there's your four to go in and fill that position. So I think that puts us in a good place. That's kind of how I feel about Gafford, because it's, if the 2 years we've had Lively, he's ended up on the injured list both years and missed significant time. So I don't know if that's chronic or if that's something that's just been flukes. We'll see. But by gosh, if you can stay healthy, if these guys can keep their health and buy into what kids selling. Hey, listen, here I'm going to tell you this. I heard a lot of people on the Mavericks social media pages just crucifying Jason Kidd, and I get it. I understand. It's easy to blame the coach, but did you see that roster he was trying to put together last year? How many times was he Googling how many players must I have in order to be able to play this game? Because he didn't have any players. Everybody he had was out with injury, and they couldn't sign anybody because of the cap situation. And so I'm going to tell you this: you may not like his communication. You may think he doesn't communicate well, um, but as far as how he kept that team with their head up, they made the play-in. Man, I mean, that team made the play-in. You traded Luca. Traded Kleba. You had Kyrie Irving on tore his ACL. You had Lively hurt, came back for the end. You had AD who was hurt. I mean, he played a few games, I guess, at the end, but there was never the real AD there. And Gafford was hurt. PJ missed time. He had a kid, and then he had some ankle injuries, I believe. I mean, and Clay was sick. He was sick quite a bit. So with that roster, you tell me, what could you have done with it? What could Red Auerbach done with that thing? There's that roster was so depleted, and and the fan base had turned on them. Every home game was nothing about what was going on the court. It was fire Nico. That was the only thing anybody cared about. So I will say, and I will stand on this forever. The coaching job that Jason Kidd did last year, considering everything that happened, there is no reason, no doubt in my mind that Jason Kidd was the best coach in the NBA last year, bar none, because he got them into the play-in. He won a game, and there is absolutely no reason why the Mavericks deserved or should have been in that position. Okay, and that was pure having. It was absolutely having a coach that had his team buying into what he was selling, and it's easy to do when your coach has a ring. And I believe Jason Kidd. I will. I got frustrated. I get frustrated with him at times over some of the things he does about who he's got on the bench, who he doesn't play, and things like that. But who am I, man? I don't know anything about this stuff. I'm just a fan, and I figure he knows a little bit more about what he's doing than what I do. So, man, I mean, you've been to the Western Conference Finals and the NBA Finals in half of the last 4 seasons, 2 of the last 4 seasons. You've taken your team to the very top, and so there's absolutely nothing I can say negative about Jason Kidd. So, well, that's my question for you. So, what I'm going to do, everybody loves deals with money. We've talked a lot about cars and the car business and things like that. I wanted to throw this out there as a one-sided opinion because obviously it's almost midnight. There's nobody here to have that conversation with, and my wife really doesn't care. But I wanted to throw that out to you. What do you think? What are the prospects of the Dallas Mavericks? How do you think they're going to fare this year? They actually played the Lakers in the first game of Summer League coming up Thursday. I'm excited to see that. I just want to see Cooper play where I actually care because I can tell you during the tournament, the thought of the Dallas Mavericks having the number one overall pick never crossed my mind. I just, for, as long as I can remember, I mean, I remember Mark Aguirre getting drafted, but the number one pick is never something I've ever really thought of with the Dallas Mavericks. That's just never been something of conversation. So I don't know if Nico's living right. I don't know if Nico is paying somebody. I don't know. I mean, how he survived this summer, I couldn't tell you. And I truly believe that had the ping pong balls not fallen the way they did, his days were numbered. I don't think anybody in that new group of ownership had any idea, and how you don't know this, I'll never know, but I don't think they had any idea of the impact of trading someone like a Luka Doncic was going to have on their team, on their bottom line. I mean, golly, I don't know many business owners that are really interested in hey, let's go ahead and just trade the guy that makes us the most money. I don't understand it, but the way it's all turned out, this has the potential to make Nico look like a genius. And so that's my question to you guys is, what do you think? Are you going to be one of those that forgives each crow and says, hey man, you know what, your plan worked out, I know it took luck, but man, you've got a great team. Cooper's everything we thought he was and then some. Everybody just so happened to stay healthy this year. We're able to put together a team that is really fixing to do some damage in the NBA. Are you going to be that guy? Or are you going to be the guy that, oh no, man, I knew all along this was the right move, so which one are you going to be? Or are you going to be the one that says, you know what, I don't care what they do, they can win 10 titles for the next 10 years, and I still hate Nico for trading Luka. I love Luka, and um, there's no changing that, and I will forever, until Nico's gone and Adelson's gone, I will forever be um, I will forever hate the Mavericks. My view on that is I'm a, what do they call them, MFFL. I'm a man fan for life. I root for the Mavericks. I did not like Kyrie. I was not a Kyrie fan when they signed Kyrie or traded for Kyrie. I was so against that. I love Kyrie. He's come to Dallas and he has um, done amazing things, and so I love Kyrie. The same thing with like you can take Klay Thompson. I hate Golden State because they're so darn good. I love Seth Curry, love him. Steph Curry, sorry. I love him. I think he's a great dude. I hate him as a ball player. This little, night night stuff. I hate that. But I guarantee if he was a Maverick, he'd be my favorite player. So um, I I grew. I hope that Luka has a great career. I hope what happened to him woke him up and he realized that a lot of the things that were said about him were not inaccurate. He does have an issue with his fluctuating weight. He does have an issue with consistently playing defense. But, and when you have that stigma and you're the highest paid player in the league, I mean, he was qualified for a super max. You were going to be the highest paid player, one of the highest paid players in the league. You kind of have to own some of that. You're kind of expected to set an example of what to do. Now, with that being said, his series against the Celtics, it was 5-on-1. He was the only one that showed up for the Mavericks, and so if anybody thinks that was an indicator of what should have happened, what should happen with Luka, you're mistaken, because Luka played his guts out. That was a great, great series for him. It wasn't a great series for the Mavs, but he did a great job of playing defense. I mean, he was the number one scorer, rebounder, had more steals. I mean, he led everything in the playoffs last year, and so that's where it kind of stung a little bit when they came out with the things they said. But all right, well, I'm leaving it to you. You guys decide. What do you think? Drop a comment and let me know in the comments. Please go in and like and subscribe to the channel. This is going to be something more common. We're going to talk about other things besides cars. And I love sports. I love the Mavericks. It looks like they're telling me to go to bed. I love sports. I love the Mavericks. I love the Rangers. I love the Stars. I love the Cowboys. Um, and so, and I love more than anything the Texas Longhorns. So we're going to have these conversations. Sorry, I'm getting choked up. We're going to have these conversations about sports moving forward. I just wanted to get your view tonight on what we were thinking about the Mavericks and how their season is going to unfold. with Kyrie being out, with Luka being gone, with Cooper Flagg taking the role of Luka, I guess. I don't necessarily know how you do that. I guess that's, um, but he's young. He's 18 years old. He's going to figure it out, and so I believe that playoffs are definitely with health. As long as health is good, as long as everybody stays healthy, I believe this Mavericks team is as good as anybody in the West. They gave Oklahoma City fits last year, even as bad as they were, and I believe 2 of the 3 games Luka didn't play. And so I really don't think, if healthy, I don't think there's a team in the West that's in a 7 game series that can beat Dallas. That's my opinion. Now, a lot of that's going to fall on Cooper. How do you replace 30 points a game? We're going to find out if he can do that, or does somebody else pick up their game? Does somebody else pick up the scoring? Does somebody else pick up the difference in what you lost with the Luka trade? So again, I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you taking the time to watch this. I hope we get to do this again. I'm looking forward to it. If you have any conversations, any questions, if you have any comments about what we talked about tonight, if you think I'm totally off base and you think that I don't know what I'm talking about, drop me a comment in there. Tell me why you think I'm wrong. I'm certainly open to comments. I'm certainly open to criticism, obviously. I'm putting myself out there, and I'm the least camera happy person. I'm scared to death of the camera, and like I said, I hate hearing my voice. So this is something that is really stretching my comfort zone. So, but I thought this was a good night for a conversation with the Mavericks and Lakers coming up. Well, I guess, yeah, it's after midnight, so I guess that literally would be tomorrow night now. Thursday night, the Lakers and Mavericks play at 7. I believe it's on ESPN. So, and if I'm not mistaken, the Rangers put a whooping on the Angels tonight to make up for their lackluster showing in the later innings last night against the Angels. I'm hoping that they'll get this turned around. If that offense can get going, we certainly have the pitching staff that can give us a boost and keep us right in things. And so I'm interested to see how that plays out. Looking forward to, oh my gosh, I'm so looking forward to Texas Longhorn football. I believe they're going to be so good. The recruiting class was phenomenal. What's his name playing quarterback now? Arch Manning. I think Arch is going to be great. Got him a little taste of college football last year, and looked really good. I know he's going to have some challenges and some ups and downs and things like that, but I'm really excited to see what, man, he has grown so much since he came to college. When he became from as a senior in high school to his freshman year in college, the growth he's had, physically, the growth, and I've got to believe with Sark getting in his head and teaching him, and as smart as this kid is, I believe the sky is the future for this kid. I hope we get at least 2 years out of him. I'd love to see 3 years out of him. Um, we could only see 1 year out of him, but I think he's a little more well-grounded than that. I think that you're going to get at least 2. I'm anxious to see the running backs getting your running back room refilled. Um, Receivers sound like they're going to be great. Defensive line sounds like it's going to be awesome. The key is going to be replacing Kelvin Banks on the offensive line. Um, so it's going to be interesting. Looking forward to a rematch with Georgia. I think that's going to be fun going to their house and playing them. That's going to be a challenge. I got nothing. Only thing I got good to say about Georgia is Herschel Walker, and I'm going to leave it at that. But by golly, they're good. And Kirby Smart's done a great job putting that program together. Obviously, a disciple of Nick Saban, so which so is Sark. So Sarkisian's done a great job in Texas. He took him a year or two to get things going, but man, what a terrible roster he inherited. Tom Herman did the Longhorns no favors. We got to where we were accepting mediocrity, and that's just not how we do things here in Texas. So looking forward to that. Hoping the Rangers can get their things going. Looking forward to hockey with the new coach, Pete DeVeers, whatever. They fired him after 2 consecutive years in the Western Conference Finals. Um, kind of silly. I think there's a team in Irving. Well, I guess they're in Dallas, in Arlington now, with the big O stadium looks like a spaceship. I think they would love to go to back-to-back NFC Conference championships. They haven't even sniffed an NFC Conference championship, let alone a Super Bowl. They can't figure out what they're doing, and so, but by golly, they've been all in for at least 2 years now, and so we'll see how that plays out. I have a feeling that we're looking at probably another 7 to 8 win season. I hope I'm wrong. There was nothing funner than in the '90s when we were winning 3 out of 4 Super Bowls. There was nothing better than that, and I want to go back to those days. My kids have no idea what a Super Bowl looks like for the Dallas Cowboys. Heck, my kids barely know what a playoff win looks like for the Dallas Cowboys. So I'm hoping that they get the opportunity to see that. I'm hoping I get the opportunity to see that before my time's up. And so, but yeah, any questions you have, any comments you have, anything you want to say that you disagree with, I am certainly no expert. This is strictly off the cuff, just my beliefs and what I think. And I did do a little research on the Cooper Flagg and the Luka the year before they went pro, NBA. And so those are the things I did look up. Everything else is strictly off the cuff. So if I misspoke something, if you think I'm wrong in my opinion, if you think that Mavericks won't recover from the Luka Doncic trade, because I can tell you, 2 months ago, ever since prior to the draft, the lottery, I thought they were sunk for quite a while. I did not understand the trade. I don't get it. I still don't understand it, but there may be somebody may have thrown Nico a lifeline, and this may be it. So, but please, if you will, go to my Facebook, my YouTube page, Deals with Monty. Everybody loves Deals with Monty. Like and subscribe. You'll get more content like this. We're going to talk about sports. We're going to talk about the car business. I try to do quite a bit of vehicle walkarounds and conversations about what's going on in the car business and things like that. We're just getting started. I mean, we've done a handful of videos, and this is probably, to everybody's regret, I am actually starting to enjoy doing these. These are it's 1 o'clock in the morning on a Tuesday, well, I guess Wednesday morning, and I'm still up doing this and talking to you, so that kind of gives you an idea of where my priorities are. So anyway, please go to my Facebook page. Look out for the new podcast coming. Everybody Loves Deals with Monty. That's going to be coming up soon. I'll send out some little teasers coming out. But in the meantime, I love you guys.
Thanks for tuning in to the Everybody Loves Deals with Monty podcast, where the deals are easy and the stories are real.